What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky, and today we're going to be talking about no sales at the dealer auction and why this is a major issue and only getting worse. We're going to be talking about the implications it's going to have on the car market going forward in 2023 and some of the things you need to watch out for. Now, before I get into the content, we could do me a huge favor and gently squeeze the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps you find more amazing people like yourselves that enjoy automotive content. Also, please consider subscribing. We do post 2 times a week, so make sure you click the notification bell. And once again, follow us on Instagram at Lucky Lopez. Let's get in the video. I'm going to be giving you guys a brief explanation of exactly what a no sale is at a dealer auction. Now, once I go to the auction, a car like this will come across the block. Me as the dealer, I will start to bid on the car. Now, just for the example's sake, this Ferrari, let's say the retail value of it is $25,000, but the wholesale value of it is $22,000. So as it rolls up to the block, me, the dealer, I start bidding on this car and I go up to $22,000 because that's what wholesale book is. That's what a dealer's going to pay for it because I want to sell it for $25,000 to make that $2,000 profit. Well, as I bid on the car and I get to my $22,000 number, all of a sudden I hear the auctioneer yell out, no sale. They come back and usually counter, hey, the bank or the dealer wants $25,000. Now I'm sitting here like, well, I can't pay $25,000 retail for a car when I'm just going to retail it for $25,000. That doesn't make any sense. And so what happens is they say no sale and the car rolls off the lot and the next one comes in. But here's the problem. That car comes back again next week. And guess what? The new repo comes. Exact same car, exact same year. I bid $22,000 for this one. They say no. The bank before it sees they want 25 grand. So now they want $25,000 for their car. Once again, I bid on this car. They say no. Come back next week. Now we have the exact same cars, but guess what? Now they got a friend. So this one runs again. Won't sell for $25,000. Won't sell. Now there's this one. This guy may be getting desperate, so he may take the $22,000. But this is the issue what we're having. And the explanation that I'm going to give you on what's currently going on in the market is going to blow your mind. I go to the auctions every single week to sell my wholesale units. Now, auction days are usually Thursday and Fridays here in Las Vegas. Well, this week I sold a few of my cars and the auctioneer and one of the auction managers came up and thanked me and said they appreciated my business and I had the highest sell-through rate out of anybody else. Now, I thought I had a really bad week last week because I only sold about maybe 75%. And they told me that that's the highest currently at the auction. Now, banks usually have a higher sell-through rate because they want to get rid of the cars to get them off their books so they can, relend that money to go out and get more cars. Well, I asked them, what's my rate? And they said I'm around 74, 75%. I'm like, well, what are most of your dealers and your banks right now? They said they're under 40%. They're hovering around 38 to 42%, depending on the dealer and bank. And I was shocked. And I'm like, okay, what's the percentage of auction for no sales? And this particular auction told me they were hovering around 49.5%. Another auction told me they were hovering at 53%. So between these two major companies, which I won't mention their names, they're averaging about 51% of no sales, which is completely awful. I saw one auction where it was 50%, which sparked me to do this last video, which I haven't seen it that high in forever. And now it's getting this way consistently every single week. Now, I'm going to show you a few pictures and graphs to help explain why this is going on. So I'm going to show you a screenshot of all the cars that are for sale this week from one auction group, which is Manheim, which is the biggest. Now, they have 74,515 vehicles for sale just this week. Now, keep this in perspective. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of independent and corporate auction houses across the United States and Canada. So just this one major one has 74,000 vehicles for sale just this week. Now, to also put into perspective, when I first did my last video about how no sales were getting ridiculous, I think it was back in January or February, the total amount of cars for sale every week were close to about 30 to 40,000. Fast forward to today, we're at 74. Back in October, I believe we're somewhere around 49 to 50,000 vehicles. So as you can see, every single month, there's more and more cars. So everybody that keeps screaming, there's no supply, there's not enough cars, pay attention every single week. And dealers, you can do this too. Just click on cars and pick out this and you'll see this number grow every single week. Now, I want to show you another screenshot before we get back to this one. This is all the cars that are for sale by financial institutions. Now, there may be a handful of lease returns, but majority of these are repos. And you can see the number 15,648. So let's just say 16,000 repos for sale just this week alone. So that just shows you the numbers that are trickling in. Now, back when the cars were only about 30, 40,000, this number was around $10,000 or $12,000. And that's what saw that staggering amount. And that's why I started making these videos talking about all the repos are coming. Now, keep this in mind. Banks are smart. Banks will not dump all of their repos at the auction. I guarantee you at all these auction houses, they have a handful of repos that are sitting there in the back waiting lot, and they take out maybe 10, 20, 30 every single week, and they drop them off. So if you see this number right here, I can guarantee you can times it by 2 to 3. There's that many more cars sitting and waiting at most lots. Now just remember, this is just one major auction house that has a bunch of locations across the United States. There are many more auctions and 2 other major automotive groups that carry repos. So this is just one. Keep that in perspective. 16,000 cars just this week. Now, let's go ahead and go back to the original screenshot that we were looking at, which was the one with 74,000 vehicles. Now, you may be wondering, well, if there's 74,000 vehicles and there's 15,000 repos, what are the rest? That's a great question. Let's take that 15,000 off the 74. Let's just make it an even 60,000. So we have 60,000 cars that are not repos that are up for sale at auction. What are these 60,000 cars? A majority of these cars are aged inventory that dealers can't sell. A lot of them are overpriced stuff that, once again, dealers can't sell. Now, there are 12,000 rental cars. But keep in mind, during the pandemic, no rental car companies sold their rental cars. They kept them because they needed them. So just imagine Hertz, Avis, and Budget is getting rid of maybe 8,000 to 10,000 cars just this week alone. So that should let you know how much the inventory is coming back, where they can get new cars to let go of their old cars. Keep that in mind as well. So now let's round it down to 50,000. 50,000 overpriced aged units on all dealers. And every week, this number is going to get bigger and bigger because dealers refuse to lower their prices and let the car go. Right now, we're playing a very dangerous chicken game. Dealers are holding on to the price of the car, waiting for other dealers to overpay for it, and we simply can't. I will not pay over wholesale for a vehicle. I will not do it. I tell other dealers not to do it. There are still some out there that are dumb enough to overpay because they believe demand is still there, and it simply is not. And this is the major problem. We're playing a dangerous game of chicken and musical chairs, because as these cars keep rolling through the auction, one dealer is going to sell it to another dealer is going to sell it to another dealer, and then all of a sudden that game of musical chairs, the music stops playing. Whoever has these cars are both going to be stuck with them and take major losses because they have to get rid of them. So right now, a lot of these dealers and some of these banks and other people are just not willing to lower their prices to accept a loss. And they're going to have to do something because sales have dramatically slowed down. We've seen some indications of 30 to 40% in some dealerships, and it's only going to get worse as 2023 goes on. We can see the economy going down. We can see the credit news. Remember, banks are going to justify how much dealers are going to pay, because if a dealer cannot finance this car for $60,000, why am I going to pay $60,000 retail at an auction if I can't even get that back if I sell it just to break even? If banks are telling me they can only sell this for $50,000, I'm going to buy this for $50K. If they can only sell it for $50,000, I'll buy this thing for $45,000 so I can make a $5,000 profit, even though the previous owner maybe spent $60,000 on this vehicle. And this is the issue. So as we progress through 2023, like I said, the used car market is going to get worse and worse. Every time I tell people, you can watch the market, if you don't have to believe me, I just give you guys some information of what I see behind the curtains so you guys can make an educated decision. So every time I hear people crying and screaming, prices are too high, they're not going down, be patient. You can see this. Numbers don't lie. You can go on Car Gurus. You can see the average days of cars, once again, is over 60-something days now. It's bad. It's back to pre-pandemic levels. The inventory, don't let them lie to you. There's a lot of cars that are coming there. You may drive by a few dealerships and wonder, why don't they have more cars on their lot? As a buyer myself, I refuse to overpay for cars. A lot of the buyers that I deal with from CarMax, Carvana, some of these major auto groups, AutoNation, Sonic, they're actually told do not pay over wholesale for a vehicle. So guess what happens? They're even not buying cars. So they have these massive lots where they can hold 300-400 cars, and they only have 60-70 cars because those 60-70 cars were the only cars that they could buy back a book. Now, even though you can see from here, there's 74,000 vehicles sitting at the auction. Why can't we buy more? That's at least a couple hundred for every major dealer group in the United States they can put in each of their stores. So there's more than enough inventory to go around, but we simply won't overpay, and that's the problem. People want way too much money for their cars, not only from private parties, but the dealers and banks themselves. So anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know what you think and your comments are. Your opinion matters a lot to me. Also, let me know what's currently going on in your market. If you still see dealers overpaying for cars, give me a shout out. If you know a lot of dealer groups that are lowballing you, let me know why, what kind of cars are going on in your market. Just share the information, because everything we do about this channel is to be transparent and help everybody in the automotive industry, as well as consumers and individuals. So anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next video. Once again, follow us on Instagram at Lucky Lopez, and we'll see you soon.